Hi everybody, it's Brett from Voxglitch. I've got a new module coming your way called One Point, and it's similar to another module that I'm releasing or recently released called 1.0, which that old module only allowed you to read a file and output gate signals. And this one is similar, except it allows you to read a file like this one and output CV values. So essentially, it's really good for sequencing long strings of floating point numbers or however you want to use it. Let me go ahead and reset it. It looks like it's kind of set up here. Previous, reset, good. Okay. So to begin with, you have, I should say that each of these rows is a sequence. So this is sequence number 0, this is sequence number 1, and this is sequence number 2. And when you clock, depending on which sequence is selected, you're going to go from maybe this value to this value to this value. But the very first time that you clock it, it's going to continue to output the first value. And this is because it's compatible with a lot of my sequencers where the first time you clock it, it's really at step 1. We'll call this step 1. So if you clocked it the very first time, um, and it went to this, sometimes you might skip this value and you want this value to be part of your sequence. The first time your sequence plays, you want this to be the very first value. So this is step 1. So if I clock it, you'll see that it didn't change. It's still step 1. But the second time I clock it, it's step 2. Now if I continue to clock it all the way through until I get to like 9.1 here, and I clock it again, it's going to wrap back to the beginning again, -5.3. Cool. So if you wanted to, you could just have a really long string of numbers here and not worry about any of this sequence select stuff. But it's here if you want it. So let's say you did want to go to the next sequence, this sequence, you would click or provide a next, let's go ahead and string that up just for fun. Now I'm at sequence 1, and you can see I'm at 8.4. Let's go ahead and clock that once. I'm at negative 0.5. And if I go to the previous sequence, I'm outputting 2.6 here. So you can see I'm kind of swapping between this and this. I can go down to 7.8 if I go next. And now if you wanted to go through all of the different sequences one by one way to do that would be to take the end of line output and string it up to the next input. So here I am at sequence 2 at 7.8. And let's go ahead and clock. Right here I'm at -10. Clock it again. I'm at 6. 8.6. You get the idea. I'm going to reach 9.3 here. And now I clock it again. It's going to loop back to hopefully -5.3. Great, there it is. So if you have this set up, you're basically going to step through all of these values. The 0 input, if you have selected a sequence greater than 0, meaning like maybe this one, this is sequence 1, we have selected, and if I click on 0, it's going to bring me back here to sequence 0. And CV is going to control which of the sequences is selected. In other words, which row is selected. And so you can control it that way as well. Anyhow, I hope you have fun with this module, and thank you so much.